People often ask me, what should we think about before we move to Central Florida? What are the good things and what are the bad things about living in this area? My name is Danholm and I'm a real estate broker here in Central Florida. So I talk to a lot of people about moving to the state, either from other states or from out of the country. And today I'm going to talk about some of the things that I think that everybody should know before they move to Central Florida, things that might be a complete put off for some people, and things that may be the turning point, say this is exactly why we want to be in this state. A little bit of background about myself. I grew up in Denmark, which is a cold and dreary place in the winter with short summers. I love the country, but it's not the best weather in the world. Then I lived for a while in the south of England, which is sort of a similar story. It's a little bit warmer, but still not the greatest summers and definitely not the greatest winters. So when I came here first about almost 25 years ago, I thought this is an ideal place to live because the weather is perfect. So to me, the big turning point was the weather, the nice sunny days. But the weather is something that a lot of people also struggle with around here, because in the summer, which is about from June to maybe around October, in reality, in terms of weather, I know that meteorologically that's not the summer, that's part of the autumn as well, but the heat season is that long. We can have temperatures close to 100 degrees Fahrenheit plus almost 100% humidity, and that feels really, really hot when you go outside. So if you're one of these people who struggle with hot, humid days, Central Florida might not be a place for you to live. If you are and you really like everything else about the area, maybe consider that most homes, shopping centers, restaurants, everywhere you go really inside has AC, air conditioning, so you have an opportunity to cool down. You might have a pool at your home, you might have a pool in your community, so there are plenty of ways to cool down. But if you really suffer from humid heat, that this place might not be for you. Another thing a lot of people ask me about is hurricanes, and anybody who watches the news knows that hurricanes happen in Florida, and they sometimes happen a lot. The good news, if you live in Central Florida, though, is that when hurricanes come to us, they have slowed down so much that they don't cause too much damage. But we have had hurricanes that have been pretty devastating to specific homes and specific areas. But in general, hurricanes are not as big a threat in the center of the state than they are on the coast. But definitely something to consider. And if that's a big worry, you might want to consider other places. But I think that, in my personal opinion, I don't think hurricanes are a big problem in this part of the state. I would not want to live on the coast in hurricane season, though. Another thing that people worry a lot about is the wildlife around here, specifically alligators. Alligators are also a fact of life here in Central Florida. We have a lot of them, but we don't really see them that much, at least not as much as we used to. And the good news about alligators is that, yes, I would definitely not want to play with one of those things. I would stay away from them. But if you do that, exactly that, if you do stay away from alligators, don't go into the water where they are, especially in feeding and mating season, feeding time and mating season, then this is not a big deal. I live on a lake, and it took me 5 years before I even saw an alligator on my lake. But sometimes they do go for a swim in people's pools, and they do go and sunbathe in people's backyards. But one thing to consider about that is that when this happens, it usually makes the news. And when something makes the news, it's a big thing. So it's also a rare thing. So it does happen, but it doesn't happen that much. But if alligators are concerned, you might want to reconsider your move to Central Florida. Personally, I don't think they're that big of an issue. Another thing that is a big, big issue and might be a turnoff for a lot of people is that insurance premiums, especially home insurance in Florida, have gone up and skyrocketing over the last few years. Some people have seen increases of 40 to 50% in the last 12 months. That is a lot of increase. So insurance premiums, home insurance premiums, are unimaginably high for some people in this state. But take into consideration that you're also moving to a state, you live in a state, if you're already here, where we have no state income tax, and our property taxes, while we all complain about them, and they are definitely way higher than they used to be because of appreciation of homes, we still pay a lot less in property taxes than they do in some of the northeastern states, like northeastern states like New York and New Jersey. So If you add it all up, insurance premium, no state income tax, lower property taxes, I would venture to say it's still a lot cheaper to live in the same comparable house here than it would be, say, in New York, New Jersey, or Massachusetts, or Rhode Island, or any of those places up there. So take that into consideration, but do know that our insurance premiums have gone up, and they will probably, because of the weather I just talked about, continue to go up. But we are still a far away from being more expensive on these parts. But living cost, or cost of living in Florida, has definitely gone up over the last years. I can see that from when I first came here. Another thing that is a positive thing, if you like beaches, if almost anywhere in Central Florida, no matter whether you're on the east side of Orlando or the west side of Orlando, you are pretty close to some beach. We are approximately 1 hour away from the East Coast if you like surfing and a more active and fun beach life, or if you want the more relaxed and tranquil atmosphere of the Gulf Coast. We're about 1 hour 15 to 1 hour 30 minutes away from these beaches. So that makes us very central for all of that, no matter what kind of beach you like, and we have some of the most beautiful beaches in the country, if not in the world. That brings me to the next topic, something that a lot of people absolutely hate about living in Central Florida. I've even heard people wanting to move away because of this, and that's traffic. And traffic can be extremely bad in and around Orlando, especially in the tourist district. I-4 around Disney is a nightmare any time of day, but specifically in the afternoon and the early morning when people want to go to work or to the theme parks or home from the theme parks. So if you don't like to sit in traffic, well, you might want to consider moving to somewhere that's not in the tourist district, and you might want to consider even moving somewhere completely different to here, because we do have traffic everywhere. We also have probably the most amount of toll roads in the whole state of Florida. That's another thing to consider. The good thing about toll roads is that they generally move faster than most of the other roads, and they are a good way to get around, but they're also an expensive way to get around. I talked about the I-4 before. The I-4 traffic has eased up a little bit around, especially downtown Orlando, because they did finish the expressway recently, which is another toll road, but definitely a way of getting around the traffic in downtown. And at some point in the future, I don't want to put any dates on because public projects tend to not finish on time anyways, then we will get express lanes on the I-4 through the tourist district as well. So that will ease up. But for now, traffic is kind of bad in those areas. And generally in this area, especially in rush hour, traffic can be bad. But why are they bad? Well, traffic is bad because of theme parks and tourists. One of the reasons that we don't pay a lot of taxes in this area, you have a lot of people helping us pay them through tourist taxes and all that, and we have a lot of visitors. And with visitors comes traffic, it comes annoyance, but also comes a lot of things that we wouldn't have if we didn't have all the tourists. We wouldn't have all the theme parks and all the fun things we can do around here. We definitely wouldn't have Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, or SeaWorld, or any of the other fun places we can go, and as Florida residents, we can enjoy at a discounted rate for most parts. So that's the positive, the flip side of that coin. You cannot have one without the other, I think. I mean, I know there's a lot is being done to ease the traffic problem, but they will probably never catch up. But think about the positive things. You have all the theme parks, you have all the fun things to do, and we have a wealth of restaurants around here. Restaurants that we wouldn't have if we didn't have all those tourists. You can eat anything from anywhere in the world almost around here, or whether you prefer fast food, or whether you prefer sort of mid-range, or you want to do Michelin star eating, it's all available here on your doorstep if you live here. That's one of the things I love about living in this area, that you can go out and you can try a different type of meal, a different food almost every time you go out. And when I feel like it, I can go to the theme parks, and I can go anytime I want. So I can go when there's not a lot of tourists in town. I can go when traffic is a lot easier. So That's the advantage of living here. You have access to all this, and because you're here all the time, you can go whenever it's more convenient for you. One thing a lot of people don't know about Central Florida is all the nature we have. We have a lot of nature trails, we have a lot of parks, we have a lot of dog parks, we have a lot of recreational parks, we have a lot of state parks around in the area, so there's easy access. If any type of outdoor activity you want to do, we have 3 major chain of lakes around here. We have the Butler chain of lakes, we have the Winter Park chain of lakes, and we have the Harry's chain of lakes. So if you're into water sports, if you're into hiking, almost anything you want to do of that nature, you can do around here. So we're not all about Mickey Mouse, we're not all about Minions, we are also an area where you can enjoy a lot of outdoor activities. And like I said, we're close to beaches. So a lot of bad things about living here. The weather can be a little bit rough sometimes, hurricanes, heat in the summer, traffic is not good, insurance premiums are high, but I think the good way outweighs the bad. We have access to world-class dining, we have access to theme parks, we're close to beaches, we have nature we can enjoy, we do not pay any income tax, which is a big one for myself personally. I like that a lot. We have lower property taxes than so many other places. So all in all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I think the good way outweighs the bad and the ugly. So if you want to know more about what it's like to live in this area, if you have any questions about my video and any questions about living here, any specific questions about any house you want to see, just let me know. I'm available. I would love to be your local resource if you're thinking about moving to this area. I can give you a lot more insight than I can give in a short video like this. So just send me a DM and let me know if you have any questions at all. And if you made it all the way to the end, so thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.